Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and welcome back to my channel. So I'm on this vagabond of figuring out some really great Indian drugstore foundations, and I recently reviewed the Color Essence Pan Stick, and today I'm going to talk all about the Aqua Makeup Base Foundation right over here. So if you want to know how this one performed, please keep on watching. So there are two kinds of aqua makeup bases with Color Essence. There is the one with the shimmer. This one here is without the shimmer. So what I'm going to do first is discuss the price and the packaging, and then we will move on to the other aspects. So the Color Essence Aqua Makeup Base Foundation comes in this kind of a tube, which is essentially a squeezy tube. You can screw up the cap right out of here, and this is where you can squeeze the product right out of. So that is what the tube packaging is like, and then this tube comes in another outer box packaging that looks something like this. There's a little bit of information written over here about what the product is. So it says that it has SPF 20, and then there is the active ingredient listing. The ingredient listing is unfortunately very incomplete, so you really don't know what you're using. It says that it has vitamin E acetate and Ponarva extract. So those are the active ingredients, and then the price is stamped right over here. So each of these tubes retail for 200 bucks, which is very budgeted, and the quantity that you get is 35 mils, which is a little bit more than what you would usually get in any other foundation bottle. The usual quantity is 30 mils, this is 35 mils, so yay to that. And now talking about the shade selection, so there are like 4 shades in this range, and the one that I have over here is called LF2 Brown. This is the last shade of the range, and even though there are only 4 shades in this range, I would still say that's a step up when compared to the other drugstore foundations out there, basically because many of them end at the medium skin tone. This however can be used towards the deeper skin tones. It is actually 2 to 3 skin tones deeper than my original skin tone. So yeah, if you have a slightly duskier complexion than me, you can use this one and it would fit you well. That's still not a lot of shades it's catering to, but I would still say it's a step up. So yeah, it's somewhere in between. Now let's move on to discussing the other aspects. Now talking about what the finish is like. So when I first actually got this foundation and I read the Aqua Makeup Base, I thought that this would be a very dewy glowy kind of a foundation, but it does settles down as matte onto the skin. Like, it's not overtly matte, but it is matte, and the good thing is that it is not dehydrating or it is not pulling out any moisture or parching my skin. So that is like a very good matte kind of a foundation, and I really like that. Now talking about the blending, so what I'm going to do is show you a demo and talk about how I blended and what the coverage is like. So on to the demo now. So moving on with the demo, what I'm going to do is just take a squeeze of the Color Essence foundation and dot it all across the face, and then I'm going to blend the left side of my face with a beauty sponge and the right side with a brush. I think you guys can clearly tell that the shade is not a match, and it is a couple of tones deeper than my original skin tone. You guys, is my left side blended. I'm going to go ahead and blend the right side with a brush. So that, you guys, is one layer of Color Essence's Aqua Foundation, and I really like the coverage that it offers. It is somewhere in between medium and high. Definitely not a flawless finish, but it is providing me with a very good coverage, and all the acne scars and blemish marks over here are all like almost concealed, and I'm like really liking the coverage on this one. So the coverage is a total thumbs up. Talking about the way it blends, well, I think it blends away beautifully across the skin. There is no patchiness or streakiness, and whether I use my makeup sponge or my brush, I think it just blends away beautifully. I do feel like I have to work a little bit faster with this foundation because it tends to get settled down just a little bit faster than any of my other creamy foundations. That's what I feel. So you have to move in a little bit quickly, but the blending is a breeze, you guys. So that, you guys, was about the finish, the blending and the coverage. Now talking about the staying power and how well does it stay on. Well, I'd say it stays on pretty well. Considering that it is a budget buy foundation, it stays on me for an average amount of 6 to 7 hours, and beyond that is when I notice it not being that fresh and not being up to the mark. But for those 6 to 7 hours, it stays on pretty well. I've also noticed that it does not get too oily on my T-zones. So yeah, you know, the matte foundation is working and it is keeping those oily T-zones in check. So that is a pretty great thing. Talking about the skin types that it would work well with, well, I would say that it is one of those foundations that would work really well if you have a normal skin, a combination skin, or an oily skin, because it has that dry matte formula and it does controls the oils on the oily T-zones. So yeah, those are the skin types that it would be best suited for. But if you have a dry skin too, just go ahead and moisturize your skin well before applying this one. So that, you guys, was my review on Color Essence's Aqua Makeup Base Foundation. I really like this foundation. It is such a great drugstore budget buy. And now what I'm going to do is link up the Color Essence's Pan Stick review right over here. So go ahead and check that one out. And if you enjoyed this review, you know what to do. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And with that, I'm gonna wrap it up and see you in my next one now. Bye.